Now, your primetime local news leader. Fox 22 News at 10.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. Peter Dubois has tonight off. First this evening, state police continue their investigation into a stabbing in Winterport last night. A spokesperson says a male juvenile was stabbed just after 8:30. The state police and Waldo County Sheriff's Office responded to that scene. The male victim was taken to a local hospital. The spokesperson says his injuries are not life-threatening. An Easton woman is facing charges in connection with the death of a 1-year-old child. Maine State Police spokesperson Shannon Moss says troopers were called to 311 Center Road in Easton on March 19th for an unresponsive child. The boy was taken to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead. The medical examiner's office in Augusta performed an autopsy and ruled the death a homicide. The Aroostook County grand jury indicted 28-year-old Mariah Dobbins for manslaughter on July 14th. She was arrested at her home and taken to jail on July 16th. Her bail has been set at $10,000 cash. Now, Dobbins is scheduled to be back in court in September. Well, a man previously convicted of sexually assaulting a minor appeared in court today for his second trial after his conviction for suppressing evidence in his case was overturned. Paul Ruscia, the state's assistant attorney general representing Maine, was in court to hear the defense's claims, and our Matthew Jaroncic has the latest.
Eric Barr appeared in Kennebec County Superior Court Friday morning. The Sydney man was arrested in 2012 and charged with assaulting and videotaping attacks on a 4-year-old child he was babysitting. Prior to the court proceeding, both lawyers met behind closed doors with Justice Daniel Billings. On Friday, he pled guilty to 21 counts of sexual assault and exploitation of a minor. The defendant's lawyer is adding an insanity defense.
Mr. Bard intends to add a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity to his previously entered not guilty plea.
The attempt was successful, allowing Bard to get checked out by a psychologist.
As a result of the NCR plea, the court will enter an order for evaluation and get that to the forensic service.
Mr. Bard was then read his charges and the potential sentencing of each before being escorted out of the room. Defense attorney John Pelletier and Assistant State Attorney General Paul Ruscia both declined to speak on the matter. The court will schedule a trial for Mr. Bard in early January. Reporting from Augusta, Matthew Jaroncic, ABC 7 and Fox 22.
Well, police seized drugs and cash during an arrest in Southwest Harbor on Wednesday. Southwest Harbor police officer Franklin Burke says he was assisted by Officer Jared Hardy with the Mount Desert Police Department during a bail check at 53 Hillcrest Circle. During that check, officers say they discovered more than 57 grams of suspected crack cocaine and heroin, more than $2,000 in suspected drug proceeds, pills, and other drug paraphernalia. The estimated street value of the drugs seized is around $12,000. Officers arrested 34-year-old Andrew Cootie Helmer of Southwest Harbor for violation of bail. Burke says more charges and arrests are expected in that case. Well, fire damaged a unit at Bangor Efficiency Apartments. Crews were called to 513 Hammond Street just before 1:30 this morning. Within minutes, firefighters had those flames knocked back and under control. The unit was vacant and no one was injured. The cause of that fire still under investigation. Well, students in RSU 24 won't be going back to school in their new building in Sullivan. Superintendent Michael Eastman sent out a letter to parents saying the water sprinkler system isn't functioning properly. He says it appears the fix will take months to complete, and all of the middle and high school classrooms are now packed up in anticipation of the expected move. Eastman says he is meeting with RSU 24 leadership to discuss the next steps now that the plan has changed. He says, quote, "The goal is to start school on September 6th with a structure that minimizes the impact on students, families, and staff." Governor Janet Mills sent a letter to federal officials for increased funding and expanded eligibility for its low-income heating assistance program, better known as LIHEAP. She says it would help ensure Maine residents will stay warm in their homes. Now, the state is expecting to receive $38 million in LIHEAP funds this winter, getting $55 million last year through the American Rescue Plan Act. Maine's Energy Department Director Dan Burgess says the funding is important.
Really is helping Maine people in a time of need pay for heating costs.
Well, according to Burgess, Maine is the most heating oil dependent state in the country, as 60% of homes rely on oil. Well, the director of the National Park Service stopped by Acadia National Park today to make a big announcement. Peter Dubois has that story.
National parks have been on the forefront of climate change since the beginning.
National Park Service Director Chuck Sams visited Acadia National Park on Friday to celebrate the announcement of a new federally funded restoration project. The goal of the project is to restore the health and function of the Great Meadow wetland ecosystem and better protect it from climate change.
This is a great example of climate resiliency and climate adaptation and bringing back ecosystem function into the wetlands.
The $500,000 project is funded by the bipartisan infrastructure law. According to Vegetation Program Manager Jesse Wheeler, the project's climate-smart approach aims to increase biodiversity, habitat, and visitor experience.
Putting in boardwalks and culverts to allow more natural water flow. We're also going to be removing invasive plants. We'll also be planting native plants that are adapted for a future climate.
Sams says these kinds of restoration efforts wouldn't be possible without volunteer organizations such as Friends of Acadia.
Without these types of public-private partnerships, we wouldn't be able to do nearly everything we need to do to be the good stewards that we want to be and that we're charged to be under the Organic Act of 1916.
Friends of Acadia Conservation Director Stephanie Clement encouraged anyone interested in helping preserve the park to get involved.
Members of the public absolutely can help with work here at the park. We have volunteer service groups that go out into the park, and occasionally they do help with invasive plant species removal.
To learn more about the Great Meadow Wetland or to become a volunteer, visit friendsofacadia.org. Reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22, I'm Peter Dubois.
And speaking of the great outdoors, let's turn things over to Chase Ropenack and take a first look at our forecast.
Thank you, Beth. Your first weather is brought to you by Goose River Farm Meat Store. Taking a look at the temperatures, it was pretty hot out there today. 87 in Bangor, it was a little bit cooler down by the coast, 81 in Rockland, and 83 in Bar Harbor, and it was even much cooler up north by Clayton Lake, 76, and that may be because of that low pressure system that was just north of us today. Going into the future forecast, we can see a lot of precipitation passes south of Bangor, and then we have some scattered showers that move in throughout the rest of the day. Other than that, it should clear up by Sunday. Going into the overnight planner for tonight, we can see we're in the mid to lower 60s going throughout the night. 3 to 5 a.m. will be pretty cool and just dropping to 60. And then 6 a.m. the sun will come up. It should warm up at a low 62 degrees. Beth?
Alrighty, Chase, thanks so much. We'll have more on that later. And in the meantime, still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, staffing shortages are concerning school districts across the state as the upcoming school year approaches. And a local electrical workers union is offering programs to help attract new skilled workers. We'll have those stories and more local news when we come right back.
Oh, great. My wireless bill just went up.
Should have gone with US Cellular. They aren't raising prices on any of their plans.
Seriously?
Yeah, my price won't increase.
Well, that is refreshing. I feel like everywhere you turn these days, prices are going up.
Supply chain got us too. Don't get me started on the overhead cost.
At US Cellular, every plan for everyone is price protected.
You know, I respect a female entrepreneur.
US Cellular, where every plan is price protected.
Papa Roach. Folding in Reverse. The Rockzilla Tour with very special guests, Hollywood Undead and Bad Wolves. Friday, July 29th, Maine Savings Amphitheater, Bangor, Maine. Papa Roach. Folding in Reverse. On sale now at waterfrontconcerts.com or Ticketmaster.com.
Now is the best time to get a great deal on a vehicle at #1 Van Sickle Kia. We have a great selection of quality pre-owned vehicles with payments and prices for every budget. Plus, we'll pay you top dollar for your late model vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. There's never been a better time to buy, sell, or trade at Van Sickle Kia.
The best cars, the best prices, and the best warranty. I'm Peter Van Sickle. I guarantee it.
NHRA, Northwest National, Seattle, Sunday at 4 Eastern on Fox.
Niecy Nash hosts a new music game show.
You are killing it!
Where contestants have to know all the lyrics or it's
bye, bye, bye.
And with $1 million on the line.
Feels like I'm going to lose my mind.
Girl, you don't know how many days I felt like that.
Don't forget the lyrics. All new Monday on Fox.
Planned Parenthood in Maine says it continues to see people driving from places where abortions are banned all the way to Maine for services. Planned Parenthood of Northern New England also says it's seeing more people looking for long-acting contraceptives like IUDs that can last for up to 15 years. Even before the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, Planned Parenthood says it saw the decision coming and planned for the fallout.
We anticipated the Dobbs decision and started working on our abortion program about a year ago to make sure that, we were doing all we could to meet the needs of both people living in our state and then people who might be traveling here.
Planned Parenthood says requests for vasectomies have also risen up to 58% in the last 2 weeks. The service is only available at the location in Burlington, Vermont. Well, ready or not, school starts up in a month, and district leaders are now bracing for staffing challenges, with districts across Maine planning for worst-case scenarios involving COVID-19. Mal Meyer explains.
Nutrition workers, bus drivers, education technicians to support in the classroom.
The superintendent of MSAD 15, which serves Gray and New Gloucester, Craig King, is hiring for a whole list of positions. There are 27 spots the district really needs to fill before school begins.
It's really affected our transportation services.
Some jobs are harder to fill because they require specialized training, like language teachers.
So you have multiple school districts chasing the same 2 or 3 people that are qualified.
About a week ago, Lewiston Public Schools was looking to hire for nearly 100 different positions district-wide, which is pretty typical. The superintendent says they've started the school year without being fully staffed as long as he can remember.
It's been a challenge the last several years to hire and be at full capacity with the labor market like it is.
But the staffing shortage in education is only expected to get worse. One study found the number of education degrees awarded annually peaked 50 years ago.
The pipeline, if you will, of students going to college post-secondary for education is a shrinking number.
Both districts are trying to find ways to attract and retain those who are going into this field.
We're exploring some subsidized housing. We're exploring teacher development programs in district.
And King says they're working with Southern Maine Community College on an internship program this year.
Those kinds of creative programs are really going to help the situation.
And that was Mal Meyer reporting. Meanwhile, a local electrical workers union is offering programs to help attract new electricians to the workforce. Our Dylan Holloway stopped by the training center and gives us the details.
The Electrical Training Alliance Central Maine Apprenticeship Center is committed to training the electricians of the future. The center, located in a former Newport Elementary School, has multiple opportunities available for those interested in learning the trade. Nicholas Paquette of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 1253 says the apprenticeship program is a great way to earn your license in Maine. He says apprentices in the tuition-free program take classes at night and work on job sites during the day.
So they get their on-the-job training during the day with our signatory contractors. And not only do they have good wages, they have benefits as well.
Paquette says raises are based on hours put into the program, giving incentive to individuals who show initiative. Through a grant, the center is also starting a new pre-apprenticeship program for local high school students.
We're piloting a pre-apprenticeship program, which is like an apprenticeship readiness program with the high school students over at Nokomis Regional High. It's for 16 plus. It really gives a good understanding of all the trades, not just electrical.
The 120-hour program is nationally accredited and allows students to learn about several different trades, helping them make their goals a reality.
If they want to be a carpenter, we'll point them over here. If they want to be a general laborer, there's a program for that. Or what have you, like I said, welding or pipe fitting. We can help students reach out and get those contacts if that's where they want to go in that career.
To learn more about the programs offered, go to ibew1253.org. Reporting from Newport, I'm Dylan Holloway for ABC7 and Fox 22.
Well, switching gears now, the first of the new monkeypox vaccine shipments is underway to at-risk communities, but some cities and states are already saying it's too little too late. Fox's Jonathan Siri has more from Atlanta.
It's the last thing most of us wanted to hear. Health officials scrambling to contain another viral outbreak. The CDC says there are now more than 21,000 confirmed cases of monkeypox in 71 countries. Almost 5,000 are here in the U.S., prompting some cities and states to ramp up their response. In San Francisco, the mayor declared a public health emergency on Thursday, asking the feds for more vaccines as the spread continues.
We want to prevent the numbers from increasing. We have a solution in the vaccines.
It's a similar situation in New York, where state officials declared an imminent threat to public health, freeing up more resources to fight the outbreak. The White House also says about 800,000 doses are now on their way to at-risk communities. But New York City's mayor claims so far those shots have not gotten where they're needed the most.
All of the vaccines that we have and all of the appointments are out. We're continuing to send a clear message to Washington and to the state.
The outbreak has been largely concentrated among gay men, prompting some activists to question if that played a role in what they call a slow response. Community leaders now urging state and local officials to stop the spread before it's too late.
Unfortunately, we're just not focused in this country on prevention. We don't get ahead of things when we know things are coming.
Most officials say while they're committed to ending the outbreak, there are no plans for COVID-style restrictions at this time. In Atlanta, Jonathan Siri, Fox News.
And coming up on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22, Russia and Ukraine are accusing each other of shelling a prison in a separatist region of eastern Ukraine, killing dozens of prisoners of war. And in an unexpected move, the Biden administration on Friday announced they've authorized U.S. Customs and Border Protection to close gaps in the border wall. We'll have those stories and more as the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22 continues.
It's your car, it's your SUV, it's your truck. Experience the pre-owned difference with a huge selection of over 500 used vehicles at Quirk Motor City Used Vehicle Center, 377 Hogan Road, Bangor. It's your car. Find it at Quirk Motor City.
Incubus. Live. August 7th, Maine Savings Amphitheater, Bangor, Maine. One incredible night with Incubus. With special guests, Sublime with Rome and the Aqua Dolls. Incubus, on sale now. Buy tickets at waterfrontconcerts.com or ticketmaster.com. Part of the Varney Insurance Concert Series.
Wherever you are, whether you're ready or not, it's coming. With a purpose, with persistence, with the power to change the way you live. So you don't have to change the way you live. Generac automatic standby generators. Control your power, control your life. Visit Generac.com.
No one told us to get up and go. That's just our rhythm. And when the heart throws that rhythm off, Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center will get it back to a healthier beat through minimally invasive procedures for heart disease with no need for open chest surgery. So you can get back to your rhythm of life.
All the reader won't need a whole lot of money. It's $1 Million Music Mondays.
Are you guys ready to make some money?
Let's do it. Don't forget the lyrics and Beat Shazam show you the money. And if you want to test your music knowledge,
You came up here with a hot cup of nothing.
you can watch anytime. $1 Million Music Mondays on Fox and watch anytime on these platforms.
It's your GMC. Find it at Quirk.
If you've been injured in an accident, tell them you mean business.
Well, economists are still debating the latest GDP report, which showed a consecutive quarter of negative growth. Now, some argue the U.S. is entering a recession. This as lawmakers on Capitol Hill react to the surprise agreement reached between two influential Democrats. Fox's Laura Ingle has more.
An uncertain time for the U.S. economy following this week's GDP report, showing a contraction for a second straight quarter, which typically signals a recession. But some economists, including White House advisors, are pushing back on that assessment, citing low unemployment and a strong jobs market.
And there's areas of the economy where we've actually seen some improvement, some health, but we have to do much more.
Critics argue inflation is posing a major problem to consumers right now at the gas station and at the grocery store. As a result, the Federal Reserve is taking drastic measures, raising interest rates to make borrowing money more expensive.
I think we've got to do what's necessary to push inflation out of the system here, and that's going to require Chairman Powell to be very determined.
On Capitol Hill, Democrats are abuzz over the agreement reached between Senator Joe Manchin and Majority Leader Chuck Schumer on a climate change and health care bill, which both senators say is fully paid for.
We have an opportunity to do the kind of thing that can reverse climate change over time. If we do this, the rest of the world will follow.
Republicans argue the measure, if passed, will only lead to more inflation, and tax hikes will hurt consumers.
That you would want to pile on more spending and more taxes on top of that. It just defies common sense.
There are some signs inflation is moderating a bit. Gas prices have fallen since mid-June. The national average now stands at roughly $4.25. Laura Ingle, Fox News.
Well, Russia and Ukraine are accusing each other of shelling a prison in a separatist region of eastern Ukraine, killing dozens of prisoners of war. This as a top aide to President Volodymyr Zelensky says Ukraine could have defeated Russia already had heavier weapons been delivered by the West. All of this coming as Ukraine begins shipping grain, which has been tied up in port for months. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson has the latest from Kyiv.
We hope everyone involved keeps their promises.
President Zelensky traveled to Ukraine's Black Sea port to watch the first shipments of grain prepare for sea. For the past 5 months, over a dozen cargo ships have been blocked by Russia. The U.S. ambassador to Ukraine warned the Kremlin not to interfere with safe passage.
That it's very important for Russia to live up to its commitments and to allow this grain to be exported.
In eastern Ukraine, Russia's commitments to the rules of war are once again in question. Ukraine's top diplomat accusing Russian forces of another war crime, shelling a compound, killing over 40 Ukrainian prisoners of war and wounding dozens more. The incident comes one day after Russia unleashed a massive missile barrage away from the front lines, striking the outskirts of Kyiv for the first time in weeks. As the country celebrated Statehood Day, marking the founding of Kyiv as its capital and the birth of Christianity in Ukraine.
Russians and Putin, they are people of symbolism. Knowing that this is a Christianity Day in Ukraine, he did it deliberately.
A top aide to President Zelensky says Ukraine still needs more firepower from the West, including dozens more satellite-guided HIMARS rocket launchers.
If we had enough weaponry to defeat Russia, we have already defeated them. The only talks are taking place on the battlefield.
Ihor Zhokwa says he wants to push Russian forces out of all of Ukraine, including Crimea, and return to its 1991 borders after Ukraine declared its independence from the Soviet Union. He had the following message for Americans fed up with inflation and high gas prices.
Are you ready to sacrifice some part of your cozy life, in order for evil not to win? Because if this evil will not be stopped here in Ukraine, it will spread further.
Experts say to recapture Russian-held territory, the Ukrainians will need more than just HIMARS. They need more artillery, drones, and professionally trained units, not just volunteers. In Kyiv, Ukraine, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News.
People in Kentucky are bracing for more rain just one day after devastating floods swept through part of the state. Officials there say it could be a long road to rebuild, and Fox's Max Gordon has more.
Search and rescue teams working across Kentucky Friday looking for anyone still missing in floodwaters. At least 16 people have died, some of them children, and more fatalities are expected. Thursday's heavy rain sent many people fleeing to safety. Kentucky officials say hundreds of boat and aerial rescues have already taken place. FEMA, as well as neighboring states, are providing resources to help with those efforts.
If there are additional resources that are needed for these life-saving missions, we will continue to bring in those resources.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear says mudslides and flooding blocked more than 24 roads in the region, making it difficult for first responders to reach hard-hit areas. Crews are working around the clock to regain access.
We have bridge inspectors and engineers in the field, but we're unable to even get to some of these roadways. It is so bad. Crews are still hard at work clearing as much mud and debris as they can.
On Friday, President Biden signed a disaster declaration for Kentucky, which will free up federal funding for recovery efforts. Local officials say more than 200 people have sought shelter, and for many, it will be a long road to rebuild. In some areas, water rushed into homes and wiped out entire communities.
Came down so hard and so fast, that's why you probably got all the water, had nowhere to go.
Forecasters say flash flooding remains a concern with more rain expected over the weekend. In Heinemann, Kentucky, Max Gordon, Fox Weather.
Well, before President Biden took office, he said his administration would not construct another foot of the border wall. But in an unexpected move, the White House announced they would be filling in some holes. As Fox's Lauren Blanchard explains from Washington, the administration says it's not what you may think.
The Biden administration wants Customs and Border Protection to fill in 4 gaps of the border wall in Arizona.
We are trying to save lives.
Homeland Security says those gaps are close to the Colorado River, where it's become dangerous for immigrants trying to cross and Border Patrol trying to apprehend them. But the White House is adamant they are not changing their policies.
We're not finishing the wall. We are cleaning up the mess the prior administration left behind in their failed attempt to build a wall.
This is just crazy to me. They have never cared about securing the border.
Customs and Border Protection reports 1.7 million migrants have been encountered since October. In June alone, 207,000 encounters, almost double the number of just 3 years ago.
Because of their actions, every single community in America is now a border city. This is a national crisis.
Buses of migrants have been arriving in the nation's capital, sent there from the southern border by Republican politicians, and left to sleep outside in many cases. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser is asking the Department of Defense to send in the National Guard to help.
We continue to be very focused on having the federal government do its part and take the lead in addressing what we see as a growing humanitarian crisis.
The Pentagon says they have received Mayor Bowser's National Guard request and will make their decision soon. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Heated rhetoric coming from the Chinese government a day after President Biden spoke with the country's president. Beijing strongly disapproves of a potential visit by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to the island of Taiwan next week. Fox's Mark Meredith has reaction from Washington.
New reaction from the Chinese government surrounding tensions with Taiwan. A spokesperson says a potential visit by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to the island would challenge the country's red line and would be met with, quote, resolute countermeasures. U.S. military and national security officials are increasingly concerned about China's aggressive actions in the region.
I think that Speaker Pelosi's trip is very dangerous for us. This is a self-inflicted wound. This should not have been leaked to the media, and I'm worried that they'll use it against us as a chance to show that they have the upper hand.
Speaker Pelosi initially made plans to travel to Taiwan back in April, but canceled after testing positive for COVID-19. She's now expected to lead a congressional delegation to several Asian countries starting today.
I don't ever talk about my travel because, as some of you know, it's a security issue. It's a security issue for every member of Congress traveling, especially abroad.
Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle mostly agree on the threat China poses as a global competitor. This week, a bill to boost semiconductor production in the U.S. passed with bipartisan support. Supporters say the measure will make the U.S. less reliant on China for manufacturing.
It is dangerous to be relying on the Chinese Communist Party and other actors around the world for something so central to American national security.
Critics of the legislation argue it amounts to corporate welfare and are criticizing the hefty price tag of the bill of more than $200 billion. In Washington, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
Well, still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, it may be summer, but you can still help with a toy drive that gives gifts to children in need at Christmas. And in sports, Speedway 95 is gearing up for the second annual Big Dog 10 race, honoring one of their own. We'll be right back.
America's best bakers race to gather the clues and bake the mystery dessert.
But did you make the right dessert?
Crime Scene Kitchen, Tuesdays at 8 on Fox.
Next up to bat for the next homies, Luke. Don't strike out this year when selling your home. Hit a home run. Get looped and get sold with Next Home Experience today.
Building a new deck or expanding or replacing an existing deck, you'll find everything you need for your project at Hammond Lumber Company. To get started, bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
Sometimes big truck accidents can result in big case settlements. These are just some of the big case results I've fought to get my clients. If you've been hurt by a big truck, call the twos. We win for you.
Do you struggle to open or close your windows? Are they drafty or leaky? Are you constantly adjusting your thermostat only to have your energy bill skyrocket? If you're nodding your head yes, Renewal by Andersen is your best solution. They custom build and install weather-tight replacement windows and back them with a generous, fully transferable limited warranty.
Call now to schedule your free design consultation. Plus, take advantage of this limited time offer with incredible savings and attractive financing. Don't miss out. Call Renewal by Andersen today.
Land Shark Locker and Margaritaville Tequila present Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefer Band. Life on the Flip Side Tour 2022 Redux. One night only at Main Savings Amphitheater, August 2nd. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefer Band, August 2nd. Presented by Margaritaville Tequila and Land Shark Lager.
Hey, Red Sox fans, you've got to play You Pick 'em Red Sox at foxbangor.com. Local weekly winners receive prizes. Register now at foxbangor.com. You Pick 'em Red Sox is sponsored by Twin City Tint in Brewer, Comfort Shoes and More in Newport, Saliba's Rug Cleaners in Bangor, and Twin City Tile in Brewer. Find half-off deals today and save money by going to foxbangor.com.
Looking for your dream home? Contact a Next Homie today and see what's available right now. Sellers, get ready to get looped and get sold. With Next Home Experience, we have your buyers.
Well, if you want to see some great softball while helping out a great cause, then head over to Hadlock Field this Saturday night. That's when the Maine State Game Wardens take on the New Hampshire State Game Wardens in the 3rd annual Northwoods Throwdown. First pitch is at 7 o'clock, but the gates will open at 5 for a meet and greet with the fans. All proceeds from ticket sales and raffles will benefit Operation Game Thief. That's a nonprofit organization that helps game wardens combat poaching through anonymous tip lines while providing valuable equipment as well.
In the past, they've helped us with just equipment that helps us enforce the law, night vision, metal detectors, and the list goes on, the things that we just don't have in the state budget to purchase. Every nickel that Operation Game Thief makes gets returned back to the Maine Warden Service to help us purchase equipment.
Sounds like a great event for sure. Alrighty, well, a Newport jewelry store is continuing a long-time tradition of serving customers in the area. TJ's Jewelry, located at 7 Mill Street, is going strong in its 24th year in business. TJ's is the latest jewelry shop in a long line of shops at that very same location, which dates back to the late 1800s. Co-owner Teresa Bickford says the store prides itself on making 99% of customer repairs right there on site.
Somebody's bringing in something that is they cherish, and it's something that maybe was their grandmother's or their grandfather's, or even something, it might have been the last thing that somebody gave to them. And so for us, that's super important to know that that's not going anywhere, and we treat it like it's our own.
Well, for more information on the store, you can search TJ's Jewelry Downtown Newport on Facebook. Well, it may be summer, but you can still help with a toy drive that gives gifts to children in need at Christmas. Ellsworth City Hall is holding its annual Christmas in July toy drive, and they are continuing to accept donations. Unfortunately, city officials say those donations have been trending down.
We're trying to get an early start. Last year, we found we were having difficulty during the holiday shopping and having plenty of toys on the shelf for us to get. So we're starting early this year.
Organizers say they give gifts to children who might not qualify for other programs. The number of eligible children has more than doubled in recent years, and last year they actually weren't able to help all the kids who applied because they didn't have the funds or the toys to do so. They say they have not been able to give out backpacks to school children like they usually do because funds have been depleted. And if you'd like to help, you can drop off toys or monetary donations at Ellsworth City Hall. You can also call City Hall to make a donation or sponsor a family. Alrighty, folks. Well, coming up next, Chase is back with our full 5-day. Stay with us.
All right, we were in the highs today with mid to upper 80s. As you can see, Bangor is sitting at 87. But will the temperatures keep on ramping up, or will they cool down? We'll have more of that coming up.
What could possibly be better than our annual tent sale?
Wait a minute, I have a better idea. How about a no tent sale?
He's right. Dorsey's has scoured their warehouses and suppliers for discontinued, slightly damaged, one-of-a-kind furniture and mattresses. You'll find great tent sale discounts of up to 50% off throughout our showroom. They save the cost of the tent, security, and weather damage and pass the savings on to you. Genius.
It's simple. Less cost for us, more savings for you, my friend.
The signs of summer are here. The sun's out for the evening commute. Whistles and clapping echo from the ball field, and a day at the lake brings the family together. Valley Home Services offers whole home comfort, serving northern Maine to Portland. With the push of a button on a Fujitsu heat pump, you're ready for whatever summer brings. Humid days or cool nights, come home to comfort with Valley Home Services. Home is our middle name.
Folks from all across Maine have discovered that all roads lead to down east. This summer, we hope that you will come visit us too. While here, you can take a river walk, go on a historic tour, take the kids to the museum, or buy a new 2022 Toyota Tacoma or Highlander at 1.9% APR for 48 months. Come visit the Twin Cities this summer and be sure to snap a selfie with Paul. All roads lead to Down East Toyota on Wilson Street in Brewer.
Welcome.
fantasy island.
Should we give it a try?
It's the adventurous thing to do. What can the island do for you?
Fantasy Island, Tuesday on Fox.
Your main weather today is brought to you by Varney Ford. Varney Ford in Newport gives 1 full year maintenance on every new and used vehicle they sell. Come visit them and see their huge selection of cars and trucks, the nice car and truck people. All right, looking at the radar right now, we can see the low pressure system that just moved the northwest of us and just north of Quebec. It's bringing some precipitation just north of us, but it won't bring any near the Bangor area. Looking at the radar right now, as you can see, we have some clear skies right now as some scattered showers are passing through the area going east. And then as we look into the future forecast, expect some rain just south of Bangor and along the coastline Saturday morning and some scattered showers throughout the day. And then it should clear out throughout Sunday. It should be a beautiful day coming up. And then looking at the temperatures today, it was a high of 87 in Bangor, pretty hot out there. A little cooler towards the coast, 83 in Bar Harbor and 81 in Rockland. And it was actually a lot cooler up north. Clayton Lake, it was sitting at 76 degrees, and that may be because of that low pressure system that was just north of us. Looking at the future temperatures, we can see tomorrow at around 3 p.m. it's going to be a little cooler than yesterday. Bangor sitting at 81, Deer Isle sitting at 79 towards the coast, and Clayton Lake will be 70 up north. So the temperatures do cool down just a bit, but it'll still be beautiful weather out there for you guys. Looking at the ocean temperatures out there, they're actually surprisingly cool towards the coast. We can see 65, and even right behind me, we have 51 right above me right here. It was pretty cool towards the coastline, warmer out the more you go out into the ocean. So maybe bring some extra swimwear out there when you're going swimming out in the ocean today. The temperature trend throughout the week, we can see towards Monday, it's going to heat up a bunch. It's going to get to 89, should be a pretty hot day. And then Thursday as well is going to be very warm, sitting at 88. These are above average July temperatures for this time of year, so make sure you have your sunscreen out as the sun's going to be beaming down. Looking at the Muggy meter, we can see it just climbs up slowly as we get towards Tuesday. It's going to get a little, it's going to be actually not more than, it's going to be a lot more than a little, very humid towards Tuesday, midday, but once those storms come, it's going to drop down to the comfortable region, so it shouldn't be too bad there. Looking at the wind speeds, we can see that towards the coastline it is actually calmed down quite a bit, but up north in Frenchville, it's 16 miles per hour coming out of the west, so a little gusty there. Looking at tonight's forecast, it's going to be a low of 61, partly cloudy with that slight rain chance to the south of us, but it shouldn't be nothing to really worry about. Looking into tomorrow's forecast, it'll be a high of 83, partly cloudy with a few showers, and we'll have a few gusty winds from the west that are going to be around 10 to 25 miles per hour. Looking at your extended forecast for tomorrow, we're going to see it's going to be 59 Saturday night, 87 mostly sunny Sunday. Going on into Monday will also be mostly sunny as well. Tuesday brings that thunderstorm chance, and then Wednesday will be another gorgeous day with highs in the mid-80s. Beth?
Alrighty, Chase, thanks so much. And sports is coming up next with Tyler Cruz. Stay right here.
Make more good in the all-new Sportage X-Pro. Kia, movement that inspires.
Is this the new phone?
Yeah. With US Cellular, I got to pick any phone that I wanted for free. And I was already a customer.
Any brand? With any size?
Mm-hmm. I got exactly what I wanted. Big screen, big storage. I cannot remember the last time I had so many different options.
At US Cellular, new and current customers can get any phone from any brand free.
Are you actually texting them?
I don't know. I just thought I would just...
US Cellular, where every plan is price protected.
Breakdowns, collisions. Things happen on the road unexpectedly, but here at Phil's Towing, we understand. With years of experience, our friendly professionals are here for you when you need them the most, no matter how big the task or vehicle is. At Phil's Towing, with our heavy-duty trucks, we guarantee an arrival time of 30 minutes or less and are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Give us a call at Phil's Towing. Anytime, anywhere, anything.
It's about to go down. Bangor, Maine. It's time. Pitbull. Can't Stop Us Now tour. I don't know about you, but I feel good. Pitbull, the party of a lifetime. With special guest Iggy Azalea. Maine Savings Amphitheater, August 11th. Get tickets now at waterfrontconcerts.com. For more, hit pitbullmusic.com.
Fireball.
Make more good in the all-new Sportage X-Pro. Kia, movement that inspires.
Hi, I'm Ron Hazelton. For great home improvement tips and ideas, be sure to watch House Calls. Grab a cup of coffee and join me.
Welcome back in. Thank you for staying with us. We will begin tonight with some news out of the University of Maine women's hockey program. The head coach and assistant coach of the program, Richard and Sarah Reichenbach, Richard the head coach, Sarah the assistant, are resigning from their positions according to multiple sources close to the team. Fox ABC Sports was told that the general counsel for the University of Maine has been in communication with the Reichenbach's attorney, Kelly Hoffman, regarding the matter. Multiple sources also say equity issues could be at play. We are working to find more details on the matter, and as always, we'll provide updates as they are made available to us. All right, moving on now over to the racetrack over at Speedway 95. They are gearing up for the second annual Big Dog 100 race, honoring one of their own.
Big Dog 100.
For the second straight year, racers at Speedway 95 will line up on Saturday for the Big Dog 100. A 100-lap race that last year had over 80 cars on the track at once.
Epic, I guess. I don't know how to really explain it. The mood, just everything was intense. It was standing room only. Trucks and trailers in the parking lot. You know, there was no room for nobody.
So a year ago, Jason Trundy started the Big Dog 100 to honor a longtime stock racer in the area and a colleague of over 25 years.
Mike Lynch was a long-time Speedway Unity racer. Had a lot of friends, had a lot of enemies, but everybody loved him at the end of the day. He was a good guy, and we got close towards the end of his passing, and it just felt right to do, to honor him. He's been around here for a long time.
The idea of keeping Lynch alive through an annual race really resonated with everyone who's interacted with him before.
The people that knew him, you know, it does mean a lot. His son will be in it. His son was in it last year. It does mean a lot to a lot of people. He was friends with a lot of people and helped a lot of people.
And all those that knew Mike would describe him as
screaming teddy bear. I don't know how else to put it.
For Jason, seeing all the support from the racing community last year and watching everyone line up at the gate for the first ever Big Dog 100 was surreal.
Oh, it feels awesome, and last year was awesome. It took me 2 days to make my thank you post on Facebook. I just didn't even know what to say. It was incredible.
And he just hopes that the tradition keeps on living each and every summer.
This track hasn't seen that in a lot of years, and hopefully we can keep doing it every year and make it bigger every year. I'd like to see 100 cars out here.
That sounds fun. 7 p.m. Saturday night, racing starts. That will be the last event of the night. Moving on to some football now. It is just that part of the summer. Earlier in the week, we caught up with former Patriots Super Bowl champ Matt Chatham at a football camp in Herman. He's an analyst for Nessa now, so certainly around the team a good amount still. And he spoke on the recent Patriots coaching development, where they're going without a defensive coordinator and an offensive coordinator, at least in name. Belichick says they're not worried about titles. And Chatham's take on that is what Bill's doing is actually pretty progressive in terms of the rest of the league.
I think what Bill's doing here is pretty progressive. The notion that that's somehow odd, I guess if you've worked on his staff and seen all the incredible different functions that they have to do, there's so much different stuff that goes on in the job, from installing a game plan to making decisions about what's going to be in that game plan to teaching it to going throughout the course of the week. There are many things that need to be coordinated other than just who calls a play.
Now, another big topic with New England has been Mac Jones. He looks like a completely different quarterback. With a whole new group of weapons at his disposal, Mac has been the talk of camp. Chatham says that what Jones has done in the offseason and the reaction from his coaches is pretty promising.
I mean, it's exciting to see how the guy's changed his body already. I think that's a sort of a nice nod to how he works. And when the organization's willing to speak that enthusiastically from the microphone before they've seen him play a game again, that speaks volumes.
All right, staying with New England now. It may have been swept under the rug a bit, but they made a big staffing move earlier in the week, a big roster move, extending defensive tackle Davin Godchow. Godchaux was signed originally to a 2-year contract last year after spending the first few years of his career in Miami with the Dolphins. In his first stint with the Patriots, he recorded 65 total tackles and a sack, and his extension gives him 2 more years on the contract and over $17 million guaranteed. And when asked about it, head coach Bill Belichick was very quick with some high praise.
Well, it's one of the best defensive linemen in the league. I'm glad we were able to work that out with Devon and Drew and get it done. So obviously both sides are happy. Contract signed, and go forward.
I felt like when I first signed here that this was home. You know, coming from Miami with Coach Flores, you know, ran the same system, and I came here and I feel like I was a plug and play. You know, I fit right in. You know, Bill, you know, he's honest. You know, he's positive criticism. You know, he's going to hold you accountable. You know, so I mean, you know, I needed a coach like that.
Alrighty, that's sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Up and Smoke Fireworks is family-owned with a huge selection including Brothers and Showtime, Time Bandit, and Black Hat brands. We will share our knowledge with you, then go have a blast. Up and Smoke Fireworks, 173 West Main Street, Searsport.
You don't have to worry about gas prices with the new Kia from Van Sickle. Choose from the affordable 2022 Kia Forte EPA at 39 miles per gallon or the Kia Niro Hybrid EPA rated at 53 mpg. The new all-wheel drive Kia Sorento plug-in hybrid EPA rated at 79 mpge. Or check out the stunning all-new all-wheel drive 2023 Kia Sportage and get the peace of mind that comes with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The best in the business.
The best cars, the best prices, and the best warranty. I'm Peter Van Sickle. I guarantee it.
Dude, can you believe we're graduating? And they helped us find a great job. Soon we'll be living the dream.
Exactly. I'm incredibly grateful for Maine Job Corps. If it wasn't for them, I'd be working an entry-level job and barely making it.
Let Team Maine Job Corps help find the career that's right for you. Call 561-8516.
We are the first family of country music. Protecting the legacy no matter what happens.
Your mama didn't become an icon by playing nice.
You don't think I can continue her legacy? Just watch.
This family's hanging on to a lot of secrets.
You are scared of the truth.
Never a dull moment.
No grave can hold my body down.
Up and Smoke Fireworks is family-owned with a huge selection including Brothers and Showtime, Time Bandit, and Black Hat brands. We will share our knowledge with you, then go have a blast. Up and Smoke Fireworks, 173 West Main Street, Searsport.
NHRA, Northwest National, Seattle, Sunday at 4 Eastern on Fox.
Welcome back, everybody. A new Squid Game experience will test your survival skills. The Rocky universe expands and more. Fox's Kristen Goodwin has the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
Miss Monroe, it's time!
De Armas channels an icon, Drago gets the spotlight, and Squid Game comes to life in the Hollywood Nation. Squid Game fans will get the chance to immerse themselves into the terrifying world of Netflix's hit Korean survival drama. The streaming giant has teamed up with Immersive Gamebox to launch an adults-only interactive game experience based on the show. Players will compete against each other to survive all 6 challenges from the series. It will open in New York City's Lower East Side September 21st.
Everything changed that night.
MGM Studios is expanding the Rocky film franchise. According to The Wrap, a spin-off film titled Drago is in the works. It will center on Dolph Lundgren's Russian fighter Ivan Drago, who first appeared in 1985's Rocky IV. Lundgren reprised the role in Creed II in 2018 alongside Florian Montiano, who played his son, Victor Drago. Today's First Looks features Ana de Armas transforming into a Hollywood icon in the official trailer to Blonde. She plays movie star legend Marilyn Monroe in the biopic that is based on the novel of the same name. The NC-17 rated film will chronicle the late actress's life from her childhood to becoming an on-screen bombshell. It premieres on Netflix September 28th.
Marilyn Monroe only exists on the screen.
In Hollywood, Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
Well, while inflation has pummeled food prices, a sports fan favorite may be seeing some deflation in prices. Chicken wings could be seeing a drop in price. Some restaurants reporting a 19% drop in prices year over year, leading to stronger profits. Wings became more popular during the pandemic for drop-off ordering. Chicken prices still could rise later this year on low inventories, but wing prices may stay lower due to higher inventories. So certainly a relief for sports fans and folks who like to throw parties with some snacks. All right, well, there might be fewer treats for trick-or-treaters this Halloween. Hershey's CEO warned it will not be able to fully meet consumer demand. The chocolate company says supply chain issues and a shortage of certain ingredients are to blame. The pandemic and Russia's invasion of Ukraine also hurt production. Demand for sweets remains high during the non-holiday period, but Hershey says it can't ramp up production because it uses the same manufacturing lines during the holiday season. The CEO says the company wants to prioritize everyday on-shelf availability. And finally tonight, Choco Taco searches are taking off. On Monday, Klondike said it will be discontinuing the ice cream truck favorite. And as a result, Instacart says it's seen a massive spike in searches for them, with week-over-week searches growing by 30,000% on Tuesday. Instacart users can try the delivery platform's Explore tab to search stores in the area for the nostalgic frozen treat, but they might have better luck going with a homemade version. Alrighty, folks. Well, that is going to do it for us from everyone here at Fox 22 News. We hope you have a great rest of your night and a great weekend as well. Good night.
For more local news coverage, switch over to our sister station, ABC7, right now for ABC7 News at 11.
Your personal information gets exposed so often, it might as well be hanging in a museum. Everyday activities like online shopping, banking, and even data breaches may expose your information and make it dangerously easy to have your identity stolen. No wonder there's a new victim every 3 seconds.
Someone stole my information and tried to buy a car in my name. Felt really devastating, frightened, because I had no control.
And the ways identity thieves can steal and use your information are constantly evolving.
Someone used my information to open up bank accounts in my name. It was terrifying, not knowing what was out there and what had been opened.
Watching your accounts or monitoring your credit may not be enough, but protecting your identity can be easy with LifeLock, a leader in identity theft protection. LifeLock monitors threats to your identity, and if an issue is detected, sends you an alert.
It was a big yes or a big no button. I clicked "That's not me," and LifeLock took it from there.
If you are a victim of identity theft, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it.
If something happens, you have somebody fighting for you. I don't know what I would have done without my restoration specialist.
And you'll be covered by the LifeLock $1 Million Protection Package.
Strength and their resilience.
Daniel Wozniak is now at a new facility where he can take advantage of prison programs.
It's all part of California's condemned inmate transfer program. The families of his victims are not happy with that change. That is our program for tonight. I'm Amy Robach.
And I'm David Muir. Thank you for watching. And from all of us here at 2020 and ABC News, good night.
Welcome to the final straw, a game of gravity versus greed. Ready, set, pull, let's go!
The Final Straw, new time Sunday on ABC.
This is ABC 7, News at 11.
Well, good evening, everyone.